All right. There we go. Perfect. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing out there?
What are you doing?
Why did that do that?
What happened? What's going on?
Something happened with the cameras. Yep, something happened with the cameras.
Am I more beautiful now?
It was because Tripp dabbed. He fucked everything up.
I blame Tripp.
Something
Hey,
occurred.
remember,
And he made Wyld disappear. What the hell?
Yeah, I know,
easiest way
right?
to fix any camera issue is you stick your tongue out. All right, it works.
Oh my
To
god,
improve
Doesn't-
you're both Temerity and Bub.
I know, right? I know. It happens that way. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful series of
Oh my
events.
God. And I'm Torvin.
I'm in disguise. Y'all don't see nothing.
All right, so,
Torvin, what's the tattoo on your face mean?
Torvin?
I can't tell you.
I love to eat.
Oh, improv's gonna be fun tonight. Let me tell you.
You
What
ask
do you
Torvin a
mean?
question, he's like, the sky is blue. It's like, quit
Torvin.
diverting.
They're like,
Look at
look,
me in the eye.
the tattoo on Torvin's face though it doesn't actually have a meaning. He got it because it looks cool. The one on his lower back,
It
Oh,
was
that
please
one.
say that to
Oh.
my face.
that's the
Please.
He has a dwarven tramp stamp.
No idea
my
when it
God.
even occurred, but shit happens. All right, guys.
Told me to say it to you.
We are good now, at least as far as I can immediately collect myself for. So, hi everybody. Let's talk about what happened last time on our experience of the Haunting of Harrowstone.
You want to do this now?
I mean, I do.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
tomorrow?
if,
Involved
if
smoking.
that's what we're gonna do,
Yes.
everyone in this call,
Here
and
we go.
everyone in this chat, do me a favor, and get your rest to get possessed for tonight's herring recap. Oh my leg! Happy Fourth, everybody!
It's the 6th, 7th
Welcome
in some
back.
locations.
I'm the Ronald Knott. I'm the new DM for this game.
Whoa! All right. When do we level up, DM?
Now,
Now.
take your characters, turn that dial to 20.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Let's go. All
Well,
right, you go.
I leave the party and head to Harrowstone.
Challenge is completely over. So just to let everybody know, guys, we will have 5 luck rerolls today, courtesy of a bunch of people that came through. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing to the luck rerolls this evening. We also have a Harrow card that is drawn, and it is misaligned. It will be coming through misaligned. So, Ronald, you said you wanted me to shuffle, and you get to pick that card.
Fourth
okay?
card. Yeah,
Fourth card from the top right now.
correct.
Okay. 2, 3, 4.
Wait, did Ronald do this to us?
No.
No.
Okay.
Probably.
Probably.
Oh.
Yes.
I might
They
have
were
had
they were fighting
somewhere
over
along the
it.
way.
Everyone's saying no, but I'm gonna go with yes.
Yes.
All right, so for my players, your card is the Juggler.
Ooh, yeah.
Sounds about
Wait, it's misaligned.
It is misaligned, correct?
He's a misaligned juggler, so he's like not juggling things of the same shape and size. He has picked
Basically.
multiple. Yeah,
He's
It's a
bad guy.
juggalo.
right. Dude, that sounds like my life.
exactly.
I hope, for the sake of everything holy, that it's not a Juggalo. Let's find out. Control F. The Juggler.
I hope that it
Misaligned.
is. If
Harrowstone's
this is,
over, but what-
debating whether it is or not.
I kind of want it to be the Juggalo. Like,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Harrowstone becomes overrun with ICP members instead of
Right?
it's a
Clowns.
ghost.
What is it? They're like,
That
Like,
sounds
sir,
like a
can I
mindset
interest-
I'm into.
can I interest you in some Fago? Sir, we have all the different flavors. We have cotton candy, Dr.
Ooh,
Thunder.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't have any.
Is that called? What is it? What is it called? That's it's Fago, right?
Fago, yeah.
Fago.
Fago.
Okay, yeah,
Whoop,
yeah,
whoop.
yeah, yeah.
Whoop whoop!
That's right. Whoop, whoop.
And now I just remembered I didn't have any cotton candy on that.
And we're gonna go into Harrowstone. We're like, all right, guys, gotta be extremely quiet. Whoop whoop.
And magnets, how do those work?
Still trying to figure that shit out myself, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's what we're really going in there for. We're like, Warden, we have a question for you.
All right. Okay. I'm curious because there are 2 options here for misalignment, and I want you guys to have some agency over your choice. Choose 1 or
Roll
2.
for it.
Juggalo, not juggler.
2.
Wait, who's 2? Yeah, I'll choose 2.
You choose 2? So it's one or two. It's you have two misaligned options.
I think we just roll it. RNG.
Roll it. Let's say you
All
tell me.
roll,
If
and
we
then we
do
take-
that, we can't
take
blame
the
someone.
median.
It's true. It's true.
All right, I'll go with 2 because
So-
Cobalt said it.
Oh
3
my gosh, I just asked my boy if he changed the AC to cold AF, and he said he set it to hard nips mode.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
It's
Wait,
close, but
why
not
are we
quite there.
why are we assuming that Rye hasn't been playing that way the entire time?
Oh my god. All right. So this is another one of these things here. This particular card, the Juggler, and its misalignment. It has a feature that was kind of similar to what you guys had previously, where you got to ask one question.
Oh.
This is a little different, however. The misalignment of the Juggler. The players are informed of a dark secret of an NPC in the town.
Look,
You
I already know a
cannot
couple people's secrets.
you cannot know the NPC, but you can know their dark secret.
So someone we haven't met.
Or someone you may have met.
Yeah, we just won't
We
know.
just know what
Oh,
the
you don't
secret
know
is,
whose
but not-
We don't know who
it
to
is.
correlate the secret to. Yeah.
Yeah, but like maybe it's something like, like so obvious, like, oh, they put less ingredients in their, potions. And it's like, okay,
You
well,
think
maybe
he's
it's
going
the
to give us
apothecary.
that? No. he's
don't
not.
know.
just saying
He's
that, like,
something that's
maybe-
gonna fuck with us.
I don't know. I have faith that maybe he'll give us something that like might make sense.
All right, let's do it. Spill this tea, my guy. Stain this.
What's our
carpet.
other alternative option? Or is that our only option?
Well, I mean, it was 1 or 2, and majority went
okay.
2. So I mean, I can't tell you
All
what
right,
the
we
other
made
one
the
is.
decision. We already went to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wolf balls are not from wolves. I like that.
Wolf balls
I
are not
like
from
that.
wolves.
It's like, I wonder
already
who this
knew
they-
could be about.
They're from someone named Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh. How many
Oh.
balls does he have? Is he just like
He
constantly
makes
producing
them.
This is a world of
Okay.
magic. Regenerating ball spell could be on somebody's list of,
It's major restoration right there.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! What an expensive meal.
I mean, it's a service.
Dude, it's like what's the Greek figure that's always getting his liver eaten out by like ravens?
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah,
he
yeah,
regrows
Oh, on
it.
the boulder.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what happens. He shears them and they just grow back. Every time he's
that's
in an
terrible.
immense
Oh,
amount
gosh.
of pain.
It's fucking
That's a
terrible.
thing?
Gosh.
Like that's real?
Yes. Oh, I mean, it's a part of
Yeah. Well,
I know.
of
I know
lore.
the recovery part is not real, but the mythos of what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, it's Prometheus. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is
Is that what it
Thanks,
really
Shield
is? Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
it
yeah.
Thor that used to always eat his goats, and the next day they'd be
Thor.
back?
Yeah.
They're the ones that
He's such an
drag his
asshole,
father
man.
in.
The goats were just like,
Yeah.
"I love you, Dad," and he's like, "I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
fucking
right.
eat
Let's
you."
go somewhere. There you go somewhere,
He would- He would just club them with Mjolnir, and then he would eat them. And they were like, "Oh, that was a wild ride, Dad. Where are we going today?" He's like, "Back in my stomach."
Well, it must be okay because he's still worthy.
It's
I
like
mean, that's fair.
Poseidon when he eats Krabby Patties. That was so good. I think I'll enjoy it a second time.
I mean, like out of all the Greek myths and stuff, I mean, it's not that bad on a list of egregious things the gods supposedly did. Zeus kept turning into all sorts of animals and
Yeah.
having
Let's not
sex
go
with
into Zeus.
everybody.
Let's
Yeah.
not go
True.
into Zeus.
Loki too. Loki
because
did
Zeus
that.
Yeah,
got into
man.
everybody
There was that
else,
thing with
so-
the horse with
Yeah.
him.
Aye.
Well,
Wait for that.
He
Minotaur.
turned himself into a golden shower. I
I'm
think
waiting for that
all right.
episode.
Yeah. That was definitely a thing.
Didn't he do somebody as Rain? He's like, I'm just gonna be Rain and then have sex with you. Zeus did. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure.
think I feel
like
like
he
that's
fell
accurate.
as Rain and that somehow had sex with the
Yeah.
person. Good for him.
And that offspring was Prince, because that's the only way that I can think of that working.
Yes. It's very purple outside.
Yeah.
Rain,
That's right.
the rain became
Loki is
Link
the
Minnetonka.
mother.
Yeah.
Of Odin's horse. That's a very important point.
So do you want this this dark secret?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
I mean,
like,
if
why
the
would
option
we
is we
just
can have it or
want a
not,
dark
then-
secret?
Well, I
Why
mean,
would you?
we can keep talking about the weird ways that Zeus had sex with people, I suppose.
I mean,
but-
like, I'm good for both conversations.
Well,
Zeus is an asshole. Can we just all agree with that?
yeah, definitely.
100.
Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Just-
definitely.
Put that out there.
So, the dark secret.
But also interesting.
The dark secret.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Something that's good here. All
The
right.
Skeksis are evil.
Yes, the Skeksis are evil.
That was actually a really good Skeksis.
Your dark secret. I will implicate one person involved with this because they're tied to this.
Oh well, now we did. Okay, well,
But it's not necessarily going to give it away. It's just going to start tying some things together here. So your dark secret is that someone involved with the events around Harrowstone lost their wife to the late professor.
Like killed or banged.
Interpretation.
Someone killed their late wife.
Or banged.
Or both.
Wait. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, what was the wording?
Someone involved with the events around Harrowstone currently lost their wife to the late professor.
Lost is an interesting term.
What happened to Zokar's wife?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Zokar's wife. Well, I mean, she's the Nadal nobility chick. I can't remember.
He didn't
how she
specifically
died,
said how she died, right?
but she did. Like she's gone.
That's right. Were they hiking?
Yeah.
Well,
They got lost.
yeah, Zokar's wife is gone. There's a lot of people's wives be gone.
I don't even know who else has a wife besides.
We
Zogar.
also don't know how Gorovin's wife.
We also
passed
met a
away
ghost waifu. She's pretty hot, actually. for
There
ghost
are a lot of
waifu, just saying.
Dead wives around here. There's like a
Yeah,
level
there are a
six.
lot of like
Gorovin.
wives that are dead.
Is it a convention?
Yeah, it's a convention. Yeah, it's like a level 6 wizard spell. Wife be gone. I cast 8 wife be gone, empowered by my feet.
The professor's Mr. Steelio girl, apparently.
Mr. Steal Your Gun.
Too good.
Also,
too
the
good.
professor's wife, MIA.
She died.
Yeah, what happened to her? Okay, so she died.
She
too?
died.
Yeah.
Well, it was his wife when she died. It was Zokar's wife at one point.
Well, maybe he caused his wife's death.
If you remember, when they, when you guys were
Maybe that's why it started
early on
being
in
weird.
the Lorimore house, there was pictures, and you would notice that the wife was getting more and more like she seemed to be aging much quicker as the daughter was getting older in all the photos, and then
And the daughter looked sadder
yeah,
in the photos.
yes,
Yeah.
So interpretation. We'll find out what that means. Particularly, it sounds like you guys, you know.
Did the professor smoke his wife too?
Oh,
Look,
God.
these are the questions we have to ask now
Gorovin
because
did,
bitches
yeah.
be smoking their wives. Like,
Bitches
the
be
thing.
smoking their wife.
Did he do something to the wife of the one that's being smoked, or
oh yeah. There's also
Look, dog, who smoked whose wife, both figuratively and literally? I need names. That's what we got to find out.
We know
Yo, can we
someone's
s-
been smoking someone else's wife.
Can we smoke the professor? How long does it take to grow one of these?
I mean, you
I mean, you
theoretically
technically-
could, but you'd have to.
I grew that peach
Dig
tree
'em
in like
up.
a hot
a
second.
paladin did not say those words. I just want to point that out.
Out of character.
Lord. All right, that's your card today. I'm interested to see where this goes. It is still very heavily tied to the story. It's not one of those things that is just like a red herring to throw you off. These effects and events have occurred, and they've tied themselves to your primary tale. Where you piece that together, entirely up to you. Let's see if you guys can do that though. Or don't. I mean, I know that at least 2 of you take very, very good notes. At least 2 of you. We discussed that last session, actually. So,
Teacher's pets.
what
What
happened?
you want to know?
What happened last time?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Last episode, I was just thinking about it like over the last couple of weeks, and last episode was like a fucking fever dream. Like I just feel like it
Do you want
all
me to give
went.
you everything in a minute? Like say everything that happened in as fast as possible?
Oh my god.
You know, before you do, I want to highlight one thing that
Okay.
it stole my heart particularly for Ello, and it's something that Oz did.
Aw.
Oz, you used mums with Eli.
I know. I
did.
don't
He
like.
didn't look. Ello doesn't know.
I don't. Well, Rye doesn't know. Ello knows.
Rye doesn't know. Okay, Ello knows.
Ello
There's some
knows.
weird sandwich going on now. Some secret club sandwich with Oz. That
You all
Feel
are
like-
in the club. Remember?
No, it's a
go
line
back.
instead of a triangle.
We all
because
got
we
in a
don't know
club
about each other.
together. You remember
I feel
at the
like
one of us knows
Just
graveyard?
that.
slip up and say it, and there's gonna be like this Mexican standoff of who told who.
It's fine. She can go
Be
be
like
friends
Mom's
with.
Oz.
She
and
can go be
El's
friends with the
like,
Goblin
Mom's?
Killer. That's fine.
We all agreed to be in a secret club together in the graveyard.
But
No?
Bathe
Rye
in
didn't know how
blood.
bad it would hurt.
Okay.
Rye is very vulnerable right now. He's changing in front of you, literally
Problem
in
is,
front of your eyes, and you hurt him.
depending on who says mums, it'll be Oz will blurt out something different.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
I'm just saying
Good for you.
everything. Like I don't want to say everything went to shit.
no.
Like I don't
think
want to
everything
say
went shit, no.
I don't. Yeah, but like that's how I feel.
Okay.
Like that's like because there was just so many. It was like Rye was like dipping into some blood magic necromancer shit downstairs, while Eli.
After you got mad about it at the tavern with your thing on the foot.
Yeah, well, okay, there's reasons. And then he's changing. And then we've got like upstairs. First of all, Eli was like revealing things about Torvin to Oz, and then revealing things about himself to Oz about like killing goblins. Temerity, I
So
think, was like
secret?
listening in. I know, but like, I know, I don't know. Was it said explicitly to Oz that you killed goblins until then?
I heard it.
I'm just saying, like, story wise, like group
I
wise.
mean, I tried to kill Oz right when I saw it, so
I guess
That's true.
I was like, "What are you
He accused me
doing?
of
Get out
beating
of here!"
children, like within the first
Yeah.
2 seconds of
Yeah.
meeting me.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being like, oh, I accidentally mistook you for an enemy, and I've been slaying your kind for a generation. You know, like
Oh,
Yeah, well, I feel
Hobgoblin's
like
a little
everyone's been
different.
slaying my kind.
It's a
Goblins
little
are kind of a
different.
nuisance. Let's
Torvin
be
just
real.
coughs in dwarvish in the corner.
It's a subtype of goblin. Okay.
Speaking of Torvin, we got a heavy lore drop on him last episode. too.
Yeah, this is where mums was used actually.
Mhm.
There's a specific quote that I captured off of that too.
Okay, hit me with it. What you got?
The blacksmith, which I don't believe we got her name, right? That never
You.
got dropped.
It was dropped. It was dropped a few times, but she never went out of her way to introduce herself.
Okay.
Eli knows that her name is Jorfa.
Jorfa, thank you, Jorfa. Okay, well, she said, and I quote, Torvin won't go away until you recover the 5 kings. When you can recover the mountain, then he'll go back to rest into the stone. Until then, they have 2 jobs. They're sentinels to retrieve the mountain, and those who hunt who have abandoned it. And she wanted Eli to relay that message back. Or she just told Eli that, but the message that she wanted to relay was the tattoo on her face that was burned in, whereas Torvin's is tattooed.
Yeah. What's that about?
She probably one of the 5 kings. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think she like quit doing her job or abandoned it, and then
Look,
maybe the
everybody in this
tattoo lit
town
up with
quit doing
magic
their
and
job
burnt.
and came here to
Sorry,
like
can I get that
hide.
name?
To hide, yeah.
Jorfa.
Yeah.
Jorfa. Okay.
Yeah, I think it scarred her. Probably like activated when she fled or whatever. And then maybe
Deactivated.
like
Yeah, that whole
Instead
thing.
of-
I mean, that could have been self-inflicted.
Look, his eyeball burned.
maybe.
Things happen. Gods get angry.
What can you remember about
Yeah.
Jorfa? Was there any standout things about her that you can recall, particularly Eli?
She was very dark for a dwarf. She had like braided hair that was really tight, super strong. And also her hair was grayish or white, I believe, as well. and
She's not like
I
any kind of
did not do
dwarf.
a good job talking to her.
She's not like any kind of dwarf that you've seen before.
No,
No. Out of game,
just
she's
like Torvin.
she's a dwergar. She's a deep dwarf.
So,
Eli
yeah,
was about to go deep
one
in
of
that
the
dwarf.
first.
Oh god damn it. Oh, that's good.
Maybe, I don't know.
He was about to mine some gold.
I need some iron. That's what
Yeah,
I need.
man.
I've lost this analogy. I don't.
Get my pickaxe out and
Going
Yeah.
spelunking or something. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Oh,
Going spunking.
Spelunking, not spunking.
No, spunking.
Oh god. Oh.
Into the delve.
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of let in with the Torvin stuff instead of like trying to extract equipment information, which kind of agitated her, and she kicked me out. But then I got to use the forge, and I made some pieces of like an eye. It's like an eye patch, but metal, and I need Oz's help to get me some leather attached to it so I can assemble it and hide my disgraceful pharasma burnings around my eye. And I'll
You
whip
sure
it off
you
during
want me to put it
combat. And be
together?
like,
I'm just really good at
Cyclops.
making chicken pants. So
"Oh,
You're also
wanna
trying to
get
become
maybe some
static
straps?"
shock by stealing a thunder orb.
Yeah. Yeah. And stuffing it under your pecker.
Yeah.
it's fine. You know, sometimes you got to put a ball under your pecker.
I mean,
She's all meet my friend.
And you guys get on to me. And you guys.
This
get on
is
to me.
legit a thing that happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dungeoneering into Jafar is
Jorfa!
yeah,
Not Jafar!
It's Jafar.
Totally
That's
different
an
story.
entirely different movie.
Oh
Different
yeah.
Different
I
part
wish
of the
I
world.
had the snake scepter so I could change your mind.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so let's see. What other events what did I write down here? Yo, Oz is devious. Oz is devious
What
as
did I
shit.
do? What did I did nothing.
You
Cunning.
did. You actually the last hour, you almost
A
constantly
noble
was trying to do
trait of
some
a
sneaky
goblin.
shit.
Cunning.
Look,
Give me the books. Give me the orbs. Let me rifle through the desk. What's this chest?
Asking
Loot in this guy's
Tripp,
house?
be like, hey
you
Tripp,
leave
can
me
you
alone in a
can you
place
get
that
in
has lots of cool stuff. I
That-
want to look at it.
that thing's locked over there, Tripp? Can you get in that thing right there? Tripp, can you get in that thing? You're a ghost, right? You can get in that thing, right, Tripp?
Yeah, I want to know what's inside. Maybe he could just bloop himself inside.
Did you steal it for Rye? Did you do it for
Yeah.
Rye? Oh,
That was my decision
Moms.
I sure
So
hope so.
happy.
Oh
Look.
man.
I wasn't into smoking people. So,
Oh yeah, Eli
I
smoked
wasn't into
someone's wife.
smoking some guy's dead wife.
I
That
didn't
was
Rye
smoke
did,
a
I'm
wife.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rye did.
Rye didn't know he was gonna smoke some dead wife when he did it. Okay,
The first
he was
time.
basically.
But then
tricked.
you were like, give me seconds.
Whoa!
I'm glad I didn't do it because if
Yeah,
I had been
that's
offered
fair.
You
first,
can't even bring up like the context of that in like any situation where it sounds okay. I partook of some guy's wife by mistake, and then I did it a second time after.
but I was role playing as
He
I was aware of it.
invited, not
Fine.
when he invites me to.
No. The point
And I
really
fell into his
concerning
wife
is that
8
when
times.
you said, "Can
Yeah.
I customize this to the way that I want?"
Listen, I didn't want to see his wife again. Okay, that was an accident. I tripped. I fell into the loving embrace of his wife. All right.
Farm says, damn, this dead wife hit different.
Hey man, she was very kind. All right.
She was.
Oh, I
She
know how
was.
we can solve everything. We can kill everyone in the town and then turn them into trees and smoke them and then just figure out who what everybody did.
Yeah.
I'm
This
good
sounds
here.
like a
That
natural
sounds
end
good.
to what we're doing here.
I feel like it's actually quite in character as well.
Even more me's running around. That's what we need.
It's a
All
very
we-
long-term plan.
And then when it happens, Cypress reappears, and Rye and Cypress dance together
Oh,
in the trees of weed.
what a wild
And then
time.
the jugglers show up.
And then the juggler-
Please no whoop whoop. Please not like this.
Rob
See all
Schneider.
the ghosts that
Like
trying
the
to kill us
juggalo
coming over
Rob
to the town and then just
Schneider.
going, "No, you guys are too crazy. I'm going back to Harrowstone."
Somebody else took something.
Yeah. Temerity did. She took the book.
Temerity took a book. It wasn't even really hiding it. Like
the old Varisian flesh golem manual.
Yeah, yes.
Well, it's only stealing if he sees me and says something.
I don't know if that's how
also
crime
belonged
works.
to the person you guys are supposed to meet up with a few days from now, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
The book says it wasn't even his.
Right.
Crowell.
I'm just helping.
It was Montagny Crowell or something like that. I believe.
Yeah, Monty Python.
That brings an interesting question. So if Temerity took the book, right?
Yes.
What I'm just thinking like society wise, like is it within her power as an interrogator? What was it? Inquisitor, excuse me, Inquisitor. Could she take that book like almost like commandeer it, like I'm taking this in the name of, Pharasma and you can't stop me. Like, what's the legality of her like taking the book? Could she like make a play that like,
I mean,
I guess what I'm trying to understand is like where Inquisitor's power lies and where it doesn't. Like, could she just like, I'm taking this?
Depends on her argument, right? The book did say that it was to be returned to Montagny Crowell if ever found.
And
that it would be a danger.
We're gonna go talk to them.
Now, if it was just one of those things like, oh, I found this book in someone else's possession, maybe Montagny sold it. Maybe he lent it to a friend. I mean, Montagny is a fairly well-known professor at Lepidstadt University, which is also where Professor Lorimore taught at for a short time. Similarly, this particular wizard has declared that he has had proper training and his tutelage has been offered in many places. He's even now teaching students. They're just the local kids, basically.
Wait, oh my gosh, I just really put that
But
together.
he won't teach me.
He didn't actually say that. He didn't say that he wouldn't teach you.
Well, he wouldn't let me look at the books.
He said he would introduce you to a steward.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, how you have
earlier.
to
That was like not last episode. This is episode before.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will after you stole a bunch of shit.
Which was like just an hour ago in games.
He can't prove nothing. Well, without a spell.
Yep. And
this guy has spells all over his house. All right. This guy is a necromancer blending in as a school teacher.
Correction. He is a wizard with a focus on evocation that has dabbled in necromancy.
DM, don't
correct me.
He wasn't. He's a necromancer.
He said he didn't like.
It's a little farther from dabbling.
But then he's over here. He said necromancy is not his main knowledge, and he thinks it gets used poorly.
Okay, and
he specifically said that.
He did.
That's
and
fair.
that evocation was his main thing, and he thinks magic takes lives, or magic that takes lives has his main magic. What?
His primary use of magic was evocation, which he had declared that he was more or less, he was basically a wizard assassin. They were using his knowledge and magic to eradicate foes or threats of nations, or hamlets that had hired him on, essentially. So
that makes way more sense than how I worded it, which doesn't make sense.
Still think it's a little weird that, what would be your elementary school teacher is smoking his dead wife, but I digress.
You're not wrong. It is weird.
No, some of my high school teachers are really weird.
I mean, it is. You're not wrong. It's completely weird. But is anyone in this town really normal? No, you're not. Put your hand down.
And that's why I went to kill the dog.
Look, I'm pretty normal.
You were just hungry.
The dog was, I could tell it was abnormal. All right. I had to kill that dog.
You had to kill that dog. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying at the end, I'm just saying that dog wasn't a normal dog, okay? He's in this town. That means he's not normal.
Is that all that occurred last time that we played? Was there anything else that really kind of popped off? Aside from the fact that Temerity is the consistent watchful eye of Sauron and sees everything that happens, period. Can't roll under a 20 if her life depended on it.
Oh my gosh, the rolls were so funny. Like, you barely saw me. I rolled like a 23, and then she's like, 24.
Well, there's that. What did you roll this from? Or did you just roll a flat 1d20? Attach a skill to it. That's what I want to see. Attach a skill to it. Definitely going to pick something that's at a negative. I have no doubt in my mind. Yes. So, this is what we have. Not bad. That's pretty good. You know, I hear dice are random, but that's pretty solid. So last time we played, shenanigans ensued. It was the most chaotic episode I think that we've had up to this point. You guys learned a lot. You questioned many things about, one, yourselves, but two, those around you. You learned some secrets about Torvin. Oz, you committed petty theft. You stole from someone who has instilled trust in you that could likely smote you. Yeah, just absolutely.
I'm not lawful. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think you are lawful, right? You're not lawful.
No, I'm not. I'm not lawful.
Yeah. So like nowhere doesn't mean that you have to abide by that.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's an alignment. That's a
Oh man, no wonder Ryan and you get along so well. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why, like, when Cobalt was like, what Eli was trying to figure out who's evil, I'm like, he like really thought I was gonna be evil, and I was like, I'm not evil.
You're like, I'm a notch above it.
I'm just crazy.
Yep.
It's
I
fine.
choose not to be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, on the
Torvin?
scale of evil, we're right there.
He's a nice bean.
Torvin was
Crazy.
rather uncomfortable through most of the episode. Was not okay with the idea of partaking in smoking of another wife. Rye was very, very interested in the details. Very interested in the details. Wanted to know exactly what it would take for him to even
Wanted to know if he could smoke his own wife.
potentially, maybe more. Who knows?
Wouldn't want to smoke their dead wife? All right. It's hey, grief is a weird thing, and you know, who am I to say how anyone copes with that pain?
This is it was weird.
No,
It
we
was
also
weird.
found out that he has a daughter, but that was in a previous episode, and I just slightly heard that,
Yes.
but I don't think anyone else
It's not been investigated yet.
knows.
And that left Tripp. Tripp sitting on the sidelines, minding his
Oz
own
doesn't know it either.
and watching, listening to everything, really. Tripp, you picked up a lot of details. You watched Temerity and Oz move up the steps. You listened to Eli and Oz have a conversation. Torvin passed by.
Look, I
Rye,
was trying to be quiet.
Rye
You
being-
just said you heard us anyway.
totally curious. Well, I mean, Tripp's not, he's literally all he's doing is just watching. It's a little hard when you're just focused on one, like, very well-lit area. But as far as details go, still to be determined. But this is where we begin. Remaining in this spot. We ended there. Okay. All right, my friends. Let's go with this one. He's minding his own at this point. He's discussed and conscripted the details regarding some of the events that transpired in the towns around him. Gorovin seems to have this bizarre amount of shame that sort of doctors him. It paints him, but he almost wears it, pridefully so. He has discussed the importance of the misuse of magic. And we have seen people sort of shuffle in time here, Rye. Oz stepped away. He was not comfortable with the things that were happening. Was not okay with it. Openly discussing as such. Torvin stepped in, seemingly trying to be an aid here to you. Tripp sits about 15 or so feet away, minding his own. Temerity came in with some questions regarding particularly the internment of his wife, and if the Church of Pharasma was aware of these events. Eli is near. He seems to be sort of watching on, but not hanging in very closely. Gorovin stands at this point, after putting his long feathered pipe off to the side, very, very gingerly so, before He stands, brushes himself off. Is there anything else that I can do for you? I am certain there were more questions to be had.
Just one. Where would I find the knowledge that I seek? Where would I begin?
As I had discussed moments prior, I will do research as to determine whether or not scars, because there's something else that was said in this backpedal moment here. You had asked
Yeah,
if scars, if scars could be used to locate
Correct.
tethering a memory. I will research to determine whether or not you may be able to utilize memory of a scar. But it may be best that you look inwardly. I might be a bit more capable of helping you assess your own memories. Perhaps there's something that you have pushed to the wayside, chosen to forget.
Rye looks a little confused by this, but maybe even a little encouraged. And just sort of nods and gets up, kind of tries to compose himself. And for the first time, I think he's looking around the room and he's realizing that everybody's gone. He's kind of was into it so much that he wasn't kind of paying attention. Torvin's still there. Yeah, Torvin's still there.
Yeah.
But pretty much everybody's gone, besides Torvin.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all meeting down here at one point, right?
Yes.
That was the idea.
Almost all of us did except for Tripp, I think.
I think Eli hasn't made it down yet.
Yeah, I think I was on the stairs.
Eli had just basically reached the base of the steps and had that conversation with Oz. Temerity broke away with Oz upstairs before they came back down, and Tripp sits about 5 or so feet away from his bed and is just sort of minding his own business.
Well, I look at Torvin, and what's Torvin look like? What's he doing?
Mostly sitting back and watching. I've still got my own pipe, and I've been having that. I have not imbibed otherwise, but I'm slightly intrigued, slightly disgusted. I'm just a bit troubled and just looking at you mostly, having a moment.
Okay, all right. Would I read that on your face, or are you pretty stoic?
Well, I'm a dwarf, mate, so yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not just a dwarf, but you're a tracker, and I feel like you know how to be stoic when you need to. Okay, well, I just look at you and I just say, where are the others?
I lad, they went upstairs.
Rye takes a deep breath and he just says, perhaps we should find them.
Aye, they'll probably up to some trouble anyway. That's cool. Thank you, sir.
He gives a long, very aged bow.
And I look at him as well, and I bow. My feelings towards the man have shifted rather quickly. At first, I was very put off by him, but now I have a sort of reverence. Okay. I sort of bow, and I tell him, thank you. And I just kind of make prolonged eye contact.
Okay. All right.
And then I turn to go and look for Oz and the crew.
And I'll be heading down the stairs as you guys are about to walk up. I'll be like, oh, I just got here. What did I miss? Are we headed back up now?
Aye, lad. Best we go upstairs.
All right.
Wait, you don't want to tell the paladin what
I nudge
going on
Rye.
down there? You sure? You don't want to let him know?
What's going on, guys?
Nothing to see here.
Go down.
Just following the law. So like I just I kind of walk past Eli or towards Eli if he doesn't, turn around.
I'll turn to the side and then let you pass, and then I guess I'll follow behind. I missed the fun downstairs.
You can see that it looks like Gorovin is stepping out of an area between two large bookcases. It's just a very small, narrow path. You do get this like almost, I don't want to say overwhelming, but a very strong scent of some sort of like a fauna flora that seems to be down here. That it's lingering in the air. It's quite potent, pungent even. You did hear from Oz that there is something about his dead wife being down here, but nothing seems amiss. Tripp still sits.
Pretty sure I told him that they were smoking some dude's wife.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Oz was straight up about it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means exactly.
Yeah, you're like, Oz is crazy. I don't know what that means.
Dude, he's got a smoking wife. That's what you heard.
She
Who knows
smells
with
nice.
Oz? Yeah, who knows with Oz?
I won't inquire about it just yet because I want to ask questions about getting into Harrowstone.
Okay.
So,
Tripp, what about you? You are also still down there. Are you doing anything?
I think Gorovin was trying to talk to me at one point, but then he got pulled away. If that pretty much had passed, I think the only thing he would recall was he had been told about being framed for tax evasion. Knowing that, I guess he would wait for Gorovin to show up to see if he could get some information about any inmates who have come in for that specifically.
Okay. You were looking for information particularly regarding around inmates of Harrowstone. You realize that that was 50 years ago, and he's old, but he.
I mean, if he has books, I don't know if he would have documentation from it, but if anything, that's something to go
by all
off
means, he will usher in your direction. Sort of, it seems like everybody's kind of like moving up the stairs. So if that's where everybody wanted to go, then he will kind of like motion for you as well. If you wanted to ask him anything, then this is your chance.
Yes. So I guess as he's passing by with the rest of the group, Master Gorovin, I had a question to ask.
Mm-hmm. He kind of like looks over to you with that lingering like,
Well, I have been told by one of the other inmates that I had been brought to Harrowstone by being framed for tax evasion, and was wondering if there was a way to find records of any inmates within the time period that Harrowstone was active, if I could find a list of names for that crime specifically.
I lack the records regarding inmates at the prison. I was not yet here, stationed in this place. This is rather new in the grander scheme of things. I've been here for some decades, but not nearly that many. Your best bet would be to search the town hall or the archives of the prison, which meant that you would have to be inside.
I understand. Sorry. And he kind of just goes back to like toying with like a coin.
You seem incredibly troubled by this. Were you accused of something wrongful?
I was told, well, tax evasion. But I know my name is not Tripp, but I know it's the name that I was called when I was there.
From my immediate understanding, those that found themselves in the halls of Harrowstone were criminals. The worst lot. Tax evasion, while looked down upon, I would say would not net you a home in Harrowstone.
Well, if the one that told me was being truthful about that portion, then I might be something even worse than I realize. Maybe he's toying with me.
Perhaps. Willful ignorance will get you nowhere. If you are from Harrowstone, then a criminal you must be.
He slow nods and I understand.
Come along. And he kind of pulls his hand out to sort of like usher Peverin along.
He gets up. He just gives like a heavy sign. He makes his way with the rest of the group.
Okay. Making your way upstairs. Oz, Temerity, is there anything that you wanted to do before you were met with the entourage?
Oz is just whistling, pretending nothing happened. He done do nothing.
Oz is deliberately whistling.
I am not going to tip my hand to Oz or anyone that I know exactly what Oz did.
Maybe, can I be like knitting something?
Yeah, it's however you want to do it, right? So you
I'm
can
just sitting like on the floor knitting something and whistling.
Is it like a sock or like a sweat, like a bit? Are we talking like thick yarn?
It
Thin
looks
yarn?
like it's like he's trying to like make a bag.
Okay.
If you know anything about knitting.
I knit, yeah, I knit a lot.
I mean, no, I meant like if your character does.
Oh, my character knows nothing about knitting. I just wanted to know what it looked like.
Okay, yeah. That's what you can see. Looks like a little bulb.
What is Pecker doing?
Pecker is just keeping his egg
Keeping
nice
his
and warm.
cool. Yeah, not at all worried about a glowing, shaking, rumbling ball nestled under his body.
You know what?
He's been conditioned for these
It's
sort
okay.
of contests.
He's just, a little
He's
concerned.
like prepared for this moment all his young
Oz.
life.
Oz, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt here. You have a way with Peck. I'll give you a bonus because they're downstairs, but I need for you to give me a handle animal.
Uh-oh.
Pecker is
Here we go.
not okay with this.
What's my bonus?
I'll give you a +2 because you're gonna have a little bit of time to sort of coax him up to this. But
All right.
there is quite literally a storm orb that you don't really know what properties is going to happen if it breaks, but it's nestled under his taint. And this could be bad, not only for Pecker, but for most everyone in the room.
Okay.
So
We could be covered in pecker if things don't go well.
handle your Peck.
Okay. I will handle my pecker. As one does. I'm gonna re-roll.
I handle my pecker as one does.
16. I think that's pretty decent.
That's pretty good. Now, I'm a huge proponent on the fact that you can roll, right? You can roll really, really well, but I need to know what you're doing. How do you coax the
How do I
Pecker into
handle my
action?
pecker? Is
Yeah.
that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do
I don't
here?
normally share that with people, but I think he's got like he puts like a little shawl around Pecker. Pecker's like chilling,
Okay.
and he's just knitting, and Pecker is mesmerized by the knitting. Pecker loves when Oz knits, usually because it means Pecker gets a new pair of pants. But what Pecker doesn't know is this is not for Pecker.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of assumed information about Pecker's intelligence at this point that I'm gonna have to trust you, okay? I'm gonna have to trust Oz on this one. So you've coaxed him. He is not as comfortable as he would like to be. He's not really sure why his home is now vibrating, or at least humming with power. It's something that he'll learn, I suppose, in time, if this is normal or not. But you can hear individuals coming up the steps. You can hear the clank of the armor of Eli, and then you can hear the lingering voice of Gorovin that seems to be offering some solace to Tripp, as far as you can tell, regarding information about Harrowstone and his age and how long he'd been in the town. But Torvin and Rye is there as well.
Currently wondering if Ghost can smoke, but yeah.
Everyone arrives to this staged teaching area. Oz is sitting on the floor, seemingly knitting some pants. Temerity, what is Temerity doing? Are you just kind of sitting in the corner, or are you like leaned against the wall?
I'm watching Oz knit pants, and I know that it didn't go invisible, right? Like
it did not go invisible.
Right.
No,
so I know exactly where it is.
I thought that spell did something else.
Okay. So I know exactly. I know that Pecker's sitting on this storm ball, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm just watching. Like I am all but like Michael Jackson popcorn watching this. Like, I'm just riveted. What you knitting? What's it? Kind of. What is? I don't know. Tell me about it. Like casual, light conversation where I can stay very invested in the
Oz will be blatantly lying to you about what he's knitting. He will say that he is knitting a pair of pants for Pecker, but that is not what he's doing.
This is actually this. You know what? You better roll for that, because this is actually Temerity's area of expertise, is determining when someone lies.
And I'm very good at bluffing. So.
Oh boy, match made in heaven. Let's see this.
It's on.
Here we go.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna reroll.
Oh god.
There we go. That's more.
That's
like
pretty
What
good.
what do I roll again?
Sense motive. Sense motive.
I'm gonna stick with it.
You're gonna stick with it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm less concerned about what she's knitting and more just like there's a chicken sitting on a storm.
You 100% know, right? Like you're convinced that that Oz is in fact making pants for Pecker, but you know that Oz is acting a little nervous, a little I don't want to say apprehensive as much as
I don't
Oz
think
is
it's nervous. I think he's just overly happy.
Interesting. Okay, all right, that's cool. I like that. Overly happy. All right, so
Yeah.
the power of crime. That's how Oz finds the happy.
Crime.
You know the adrenaline you get? Yeah. And you got away with it? Yeah.
I've watched the Joker. Like, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's giggling and knitting. Exactly.
Sure. Then Torvin and Rye and Tripp and Eli, when you rise to the precipice of this staging area, this is where you see Temerity just sort of minding her business, but watching Oz. Oz is apparently a little giggly, but knitting. For the record, nobody has seen Oz giggle at anything. Nothing's been funny in this entire town, but now...
I'm wincing. I'm hearing a goblin giggle. I'm wincing.
Did you fart or something, Oz?
Well, I probably have.
Okay. I didn't know what was going on with the chuckling.
There's just an exuberance. Oz is like seemingly incredibly happy. It might just be the area, right? Maybe it's the fact that Oz has stumbled upon the teacher of their teacher. And with that, I think Gorovin probably sees you as well, and he motions to you for your next immediate availability.
Who?
Oz.
What do you mean motions for my most? What do you mean by that? Like he says those words?
Yes. I'd like to know when you're next available, so that I can introduce you to a steward.
Well, I'm available right now, unless y'all have something else we're doing.
I think we should probably use those scrolls of hide from undead and go scout out Harrowstone and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Actually, at this, Rye turns to Gorovin and tells him, have we told him that we're planning to go to Harrowstone yet?
I don't think so. Well, now
Yeah,
we did because
I
of
think
what Eli just said.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of why I'm chirping in now. Actually, and I look around to the group and I say, I think we're planning on heading into the prison. Is there anything you can do to help us in that endeavor? We think whatever strangeness is absorbing this town, we think it's coming from there. It's pretty obvious. Is there anything you can do to help us? I'm sure there's going to be all manner of craziness there.
What purpose do you have with going to Harrowstone? Now of all times.
To lift whatever curse is on this godforsaken town. To end the events that are happening.
I've got a score to settle with some ghosts.
And what curse is it that you believe you have uncovered?
Well, and I look at Pevrin. You think what's happening to the boy is normal? I don't know if it's a curse, or a hex, or a charm, or an abduction. I don't know. What I do know is that kids being possessed by ghosts, I don't think it's a good thing. There is a queerness to this town, and we intend to, well, I intend to end it.
Oz kind of raises his hand and says, I'm mostly here because Professor L was a good guy. I wouldn't be who I am without him, and well, made him a promise, so here to help him.
Harrowstone is a focal point of something darker, a point in history of which we marvel. It created boogeymen, creatures of fantasy. And every fantasy has a point of origin. I do think spirits linger. I do not know the greater details. I wish to understand more myself. But first, for me to provide something, I must know more. Like what I might be facing.
At this, I just sort of blurt it out, and I say that, well, we've met the warden's wife. She's come to us as a spirit or a ghost or some godforsaken entity.
He kind of tilts his head a little.
Us.
It's like he's sizing what you're saying. He's listening to it, but he wants... He's not quite chomping at the bit, right? But he's picking up on what you're saying. And why, you? Why would this woman, a spirit, you say, find her way to you?
At this, Rye kind of looks to the more caster-oriented people in the group. Maybe, wasn't it Torvin and Temerity that was, had the actual conversation with her?
We were all there. That's when I flipped out. Oh, Oz was there the first time at the monument.
Yes, but
and then she came when Pevrin was unconscious at the house.
Yes.
When my eye freaked out.
She was
correct.
Real nice, and she was pretty.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is Rye's probably, giving it over at this point to the people who maybe had contact with her. Rye didn't talk to her too much, so.
She said that the boy was a lantern to spirits and that they were drawn to him.
At this, I also mentioned, Rye speaks up. I also know that Zokar's late wife was from Nadal. And not only that, and at this point I pull out the I'm going to call it a circlet, even though it's not a circlet, but I pull it out.
Diadem?
Yes, the diadem.
Oz's eyes grow big.
And
what else you hiding in there?
I pull out a key. It's a few other things. Some stuff. I just pull out the circlet and I kind of show him and I tell him there's a great deal of secrets in this town that we've only uncovered in several days. Imagine if we spent a month.
Every person has baggage. They have things that they are not particularly proud of. We're all escaping a particular light, something that was cast upon us in a different age, things that we feel is more important to hide away from the prying eyes of those around us. I've done things that I am not proud of, as I'm sure each of you have things that you are not particularly proud of. This town of Ravengrow is an existing lost and found. People find themselves lost, and Ravengrow finds them.
Does Ravengrove create rituals under its citizens' beds with dead animal parts and dark entities?
No.
Blood.
No, I am afraid that is not the case. Not since I have been here. Something like that would have been done through the will of another. But why? And what kind of looks to each of you? What symbols did it use? What can you recall?
Right, again, kind of his eyes go to
They cast us, yeah.
yeah.
I know we saw letters. Beginning of a name.
I draw it in blood.
Which correlates to some information we know about one of the worst prisoners. For some reason, the spirits are able to leave now and temporarily possess people or cause mischief in the town.
When you say that
There's one
the
in
prisoners,
Temerity right now.
when the prisoners are able to leave now, what has changed that has allowed them to leave now?
That is what we intend to find out so that we can stop it.
Well, what differs in this town since you've arrived?
Petros is dead.
Aye. And how he died.
Why would Petros' death mire such unearthly results?
You were his mentor. Perhaps you know better than I. Or us.
Or indeed, perhaps his interests of the last year before his death. He grew more erratic, didn't he?
We stopped speaking over the last few years. He was quick to act without thinking. And he was tricky. On more than a few occasions, I had to explain to him that some of the trinkets and baubles in this estate were not to be handled. he was a bad listener. Quick to learn, but a bad listener.
Did he ever mention the way?
When you say that, his eyes sort of move up and then back down to the table. No, he had never mentioned anything by that moniker or title.
I'm gonna sense motive.
Yeah, I'm certainly not.
I'm sus of him.
I'm not even gonna roll. I just believe him.
I'm starting to get sus about how much we're telling him.
I've been sus about
You
that the whole
told
time.
me-
I was not talking.
You started
God.
spilling the information.
Hey man,
it's weird.
I'm rolling with it.
yeah, I mean,
It doesn't
Hey,
take a
get him,
lot here.
Inquisitor.
It doesn't take a lot here. His He's
I
not-
won't even roll that.
he's not very keen on bluffing. His bluff is very, very lackluster. You saw through the facade.
So then, if he didn't mention the way, have you ever heard of them yourself?
I'm familiar with the group.
We think that they might be somehow connected with the prison.
I
this
and
a-
potentially his death.
Is this enough to satisfy your curiosity?
What role did Petros play in this involvement with the Whispering Way?
Well. See, my concerns are two-way here. Of course, as do you have, we just went downstairs and now we're talking about a group of necromancers that are causing potential issue and maybe death, and who knows what else is or has happened. So maybe you could come and talk with us a bit.
You are asking a lot of questions and not providing much information, that's for certain.
Perhaps you should
The good
consider
thing about
asking.
communications is that it's two-way.
Perhaps you should consider asking the appropriate questions. I'm not here to talk you into circles. I will recommend, however, that there are certain things that you do not give power to. The Whispering Way exists purely because those seek an interest in meddling with the recently dead and oftentimes the long dead.
At this, I look him right in the eye and I say,
Are there things that you hope we would not discover at the prison?
No, I have no involvement with the prison. I
And
was
you wouldn't
drawn.
mind. Okay.
I was drawn to this town merely because I had lost my way and found comforts with the companionship of a steward. I speak close to the elementals below. They feel my magic. I'm tired. I have retired. My mind has not. And the arcane elements below me fill me in a way of bit of an unending wellspring.
And you have an investment to make sure that that continues, correct?
My investment, further, is only to the children of this town, who are being outcast and looked down upon because they cannot explain how a steward chose them.
And if the Lopper gets those children,
Give me perception, Rye.
okay. What were the names of the other ones?
Mosswater Marauder, Splatterman,
Expert
Lopper
Ilmarsh
Surgeon.
and Father Charlartain Tain.
Yes.
Charlatan.
Are you happy with that 4?
She said.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna keep nothing about it. There we go.
Right, you
I basically say like what about if, the Lopper comes?
Yeah.
What about if the Marauder comes back? What about,
Literally,
what kids,
Pevrin was a student, and he's
Yeah,
possessed right
yeah.
now in front of us.
like what kids do you hope to teach? if they're all dead.
And your delivery of that sort of cracks him. You hear this like click whistle of the skin of his lips across his teeth. Well, I would not be happy, to say the least. No one else cares to protect them. No one else to teach them how to field and control. I've taken it upon myself. Do you bring up about Peverin specifically?
I do. An addendum to what Rye's saying.
Yeah, like look what's already happening. You know, like
He looks to Peverin, to Tripp. Sort of like casts his hand out like in like evidence, like, look, right? These things were going to happen, regardless of how I might interfere. Some of us have birthrights. Things that we cannot control. Laws that we have to adhere to. It's in our blood.
If Rye and Peverin's mother can escape from Nadal, then I don't think anything's impossible, and there must be a way to protect him.
You can leave a place. But this goes further than a mere 12, 15, 20 years. Nadal has been harnessing conduits for longer than any of our years combined. They're built upon the backbone of 10,000 years of controlling the knowledge of death. Why do you think the secrets that stay in Nadal are never forgotten? Because they're under control. There's the power. No one can take a secret to their grave. In Nadal, if you hold a secret from another person, you hold it for as long as you are willed into this space. I am sorry for the boy and what seems to be happening to him, but some things are out of my control. I can only offer some solace and hence control going forward. Do any of you have any experience dealing with the dead in their many forms?
Tripp raises his hand.
Temerity.
Not particularly.
I do.
Well, I
it's what
make things dead.
I have handled many dead animals.
What experiences do you have with the dead?
Well, I mean, I'm an inquisitor of Phrasma, so that.
That's like you pulling out your like Walker Texas Ranger badge,
Like,
and like you're like, oh well, just this. I'm just a Texas Ranger.
right. Now I want a badge.
We all herald titles, things that we will carry with us to a grave eventually. What experience do you have? Have you mired the front lines of dealing with a weathered dead? Do you have any experience fighting whites? Frost controlled. Haunts, even. The most simple form.
Haunts, yes. The rest I have not gone too far down.
Read some books, but personal experience, nah.
Are you wondering why we're asking you for your help?
No.
You know, like you know exactly. It's like this is why we
We may
It's
not
more
be
like
experienced,
way
but I don't.
over- He's like more so saying that we're way over our heads.
Yeah. So, and my rebuttal to that is like, well, that's why I'm asking you for help.
Sure.
You know, like, yeah.
He's not surprised, right? Like his immediate response is, do you wonder? And he doesn't. He's not surprised. He points to Tripp immediately. Do you even know what he is?
He almost
Nah.
A murderer, maybe. Close today. He almost killed one of your students.
Or a child, at least.
well, it's a child in the town. I would assume he's a student, but I guess
Yeah,
I'm fine to be
they're all
corrected.
students.
Do I
I'm-
know what he is? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, would I
Oh
know?
no, I'm just glad you said that because
mean,
I want
I
to
know what he
his
is.
reaction to that is.
Exactly.
But I don't know what
Yes.
Eli does.
Sure.
As
Give
they're
me,
like calling this out, you see like Tripp's like he just slumps lower and lower.
sure. Yeah. Of course.
I'm trying to draw him. I mean, like Rye's no slouch to talking with Pete, right? And he knows he's got some information, so he's just he's throwing little bits out here and there, here and there, just to kind of try to catch him off guard,
He is a wraith. A figmented undead. Not very large, but large enough. You said your name was Tripp, correct?
That's what I remember being called.
He do not remember his name.
Have you been able to extend, reach beyond your grasp?
Kind of like looks at everyone, and then you see him like he kind of like shuffles his like hands together, Beverin's hands, and then I don't know if he would be able to see it, but I guess everyone else would. You see the wraith hands come out, and they reach forward like for, I don't know, like a beaker or something, and like he like tries to like lift
reach
it.
for a weapon.
Let's just say he almost had 2 temporary HP.
When
That
you
Torax beard, you need to cut that shit out.
when you extend that that small wisp like claw, this appendage of yours, this is when you notice that some of the room starts to illuminate. There are runes that start to glow, and it starts to become a bit brighter in the area. Everybody can feel this heat, almost like sunlight pouring down upon them. Tripp, when you do this, when you feel this sunlight, it hurts. It hurts a lot. Not in a way that you're like, it's like an instantaneous burn, but you actually feel like you're being submerged in cool water. Like your strength is just being sapped away from you.
Yeah. So I guess like during the little demonstration, like you would see like the glass shaking a little bit, and then like it would drop, and then same thing, the hands would kind of recoil back into the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recognize that as how he looked when he was like slapping the boy around, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry,
You
that
teach me how to do that.
that burns a lot, or hurts in general.
This building is protected by a variety of runic magic that I've placed upon it. Since I have arrived, I maintain monthly ways to keep it fresh in my mind. There's more than just protection against wraiths here. I figured it would be necessary, considering this land was once plagued by necromancers.
Is there a way that you can apply that to people instead of a home?
People and homes are different. A hearth is permanent, people are not. You give power to a location, provide you with warmth, protection, and not all people can do that. They're fickle things, and they can change at the drop of a hat. Anything that I would be able to apply similarly would be temporary at best. The first impact with a wraith would break the rune and protect you only once.
That's better than nothing.
You just can't scribble it on walls there. I know. No.
How many scrolls do we have of hide from undead?
I believe you only have one, potentially two, but I think Maggie has that
We have
information.
2 scrolls of hide from undead, 1 detect undead, and 1 scroll of protection from evil.
Does that apply just to one person at a time, or is it like a group, like buff?
It is one creature.
Mm.
Yeah, usually spells like that would be like mass invisibility or
Yeah,
mass.
you'd be looking for like greater hide from undead.
Yeah.
That would cover quite a few people.
Well, the wards sound helpful, even if just for one hit, but I think having more of these scrolls would benefit us as well. I think stealth might be the better choice if we're going to go scout the prison.
You would need to speak to her church. The Inquisitors that I've had experience with in the past are familiar with hide from undead. But Pharasma and her church can provide similar scrolls. Out of game, you don't have it yet because you're not level 3. If you're level 3, you can cast hide from undead. And at least Inquisitors have that action and opportunity to them. Clerics do as well.
Is that still only one per,
So
or
what
is it
you're
like
saying
a day
is we need to
use?
go farm some rats.
Nah, can we
Yeah.
farm
How
bunnies
many rats?
instead?
About 100-ish to work it? No.
It would take you guys so
We're fine.
long
We
to
can
level
just
up.
go in. It'll be like killing Hogger back in the day.
Oh. It would take so long killing bunnies and rats. Oh my god. But you know, it's not so bad, right? Like the last game that Misty and I were in, one of her like last major encounters was with a sphinx at a very low level. That was fun.
Yeah.
Undead aren't so bad, I guess. So
Sphinx are magical creatures.
they are.
And someone used their boobs as a handle. It was
Yes.
magic.
It was a magical moment. What's the our
This
rats
magic
1/100th?
moment.
I don't even know. I'd have to look it up. Just depends on the rat. Any other questions? Anything that you guys feel like you might need to ask away?
Rye's ready to like fucking go to sleep.
I think we do. Yeah.
He needs some rest.
If
man.
I'm all for planning for every contingency and having backups, but at this point I think we know where we need to go and have somewhat of an idea what we need to do. We just need perhaps a few more scrolls, maybe a few supplies if any of you need them, and I don't know what else we can do besides face the problem head on. Maybe at the crack of daylight with some fresh scrolls.
Very well, come by at first light, and I will provide with you rudimentary temporary wards.
I think that's quite fair.
Thank you, good master.
I want to see something here.
Everyone's just gonna like hug me and make me lose mine right away on accident somehow. Or Tripp.
He moves back to his desk in an effort
High
to start getting some information down. And he looks over to gather a particular document or a book from the stack of books. And his head doesn't move, but his eyes train up on everyone in the room. And he places his quill down and crosses his arms.
Oh, we'll take our leave. Thank you. And Tripp just starts walking. Getting ready to
Was there anything else?
Rye follows him and just
Needed.
says, and follows behind Tripp.
I will do the same.
When everyone turns their
Nothing at all.
backs, there is a clap, a very audible clap. And Tripp, when you go to reach for the door handle, it pushes into the wall, and the wall seems to swallow over the door.
It's like, well, okay, we're gonna go ahead and head on out. We'll see you tomorrow morning. No big deal. And the door leaves.
Like legit confused, Tripp kind of just turns around. Master Garvin, the door seems to have disappeared.
As has a proper manual from my desk.
You mean this one? I'll pull it out. that belongs to one.
Montagny Crowell, yes, an associate of
right.
mine.
Well, we already have things that need to go to him, and it says if found. And
he kind of stares for a moment. And you believe that you would just swipe it from my desk?
I made no show of hiding it.
But you did not speak of it?
Quite frankly, I forgot. Because there's a storm.
I'm assuming that you didn't say that. That you didn't say that.
No. That was like.
I was like, oh shit.
No. But
Misty
that's
with
like,
the bus.
No, right? Like, yeah. She genuinely forgot because of the storm.
Right.
But I did mean to mention it to you, so I do apologize for that. And I'll have it out.
Well,
Like, in a way that's like not.
Sure.
I'm not trying to hold it, but I'm also not offering it to him.
Oh, that's quite odd that that anyone would feel at ease to shuffle through his items, especially after the comment he made about the professor touching unwanted things he shouldn't.
Me, it was just on. We didn't shuffle through anything.
I mean, you had to touch it and open it, right?
I didn't open it. Well, it says it on the cover, right?
In the binding, very, very small.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, I know I didn't open it because if I had had to have opened it, I wouldn't have done it.
Temerity's being tricksy.
I mean, I suppose is a mistake, but.
Oh, it most assuredly was not a mistake.
Oh, I meant not mentioning it.
Oh, that was absolutely a mistake.
Well, then I will collect Montagny's property and deliver it to him whence I'm finished.
I'm gonna flip the book over again. What does it say on the? Does it say anything on the back?
No, it is there. There's nothing on the front or the back. It's just on the binding.
Right. And what's the title? Do we know what the title of the book is?
Flesh Golem.
That's right. What? So, question, and I'll hand it to him while I'm asking.
Okay.
What sort of flesh golems were you planning on? Are you just reading up on them? It's a professional curiosity.
The pursuit of knowledge can be a bit of a dangerous thing. I will continue to pursue said knowledge. It only becomes a problem when I begin enacting upon it in such a way that is instrumental to the failure of humanity, correct?
Well, and that's something that I would hope you're not doing.
Oh no, I'm not.
Can
I
sense
wouldn't.
Motive?
Of course.
Listen, thank you.
You know, he doesn't want to make a flesh golem. He just wants to know.
He just wants to know how to do it if it came up.
We're trying to bring his
Okay.
Oh hell no! That's one. I'm gonna reroll that.
What if a flesh golem decides to attack the city, and then you'll know its weaknesses?
Oh,
You
when
know
he
how
wants
to
to bring
deal
his
with
wife
it.
back as one. It's like
Oh,
some
God.
like pet cemetery thing.
Mm.
Just cook the flesh golem and eat it. This is how you deal with it.
Oh, I'm gonna stick with the 13.
Okay. He doesn't appear to be lying.
A plus 12? Holy bajoli.
Now I don't have any idea.
By the way, did he react to that circlet like at all? Like,
I mean, he did, but he's not really sure what to make of it, right? Like, you didn't even declare that you were picking it back up. He didn't touch it or anything. He's just not really sure what to make of it. I don't really feel like, he doesn't feel like he got enough information about it. It's just like, you produced this thing, and he's not really sure what he's supposed to do with it. You can technically ask him other things about it if you wanted to.
Can anybody identify it out of curiosity?
yeah, that's what I was gonna see. Like, because I haven't had it identified or anything. I'm gonna let this whatever interaction come to.
Sure,
whatever,
sure.
and then I'll.
He extends his hand in acceptance of the book, or at least he's hoping that it will find its way to his hand.
I'll give it to him.
Okay. He places it back down on the left side of the desk, very uniform with the rest of the other titles, and he retrieves a book from the lower end of the stack, and he starts scribbling some things down. He asks again first, though, will the boy be going in with you? His runes will be very different. I cannot provide him a protection against wraiths, as he is a wraith.
Rye wouldn't know. Rye would be lost.
Is he going to be safer with us, or is he going to be better off staying behind? Is he going to be of paramount assistance within the actual prison? Or I think the boy's safety comes first, but also whenever we've left him alone, he seems to be getting into trouble as well. So I don't know what to do with him at this point. That's going to be the best way to protect him.
He looks to you, Peverin. What do you think? Will you be safer in the company of those around you?
If you're able to make a ward against wraiths and all kinds of undead for the boy, that would probably be better. At the very least, I can remove myself from him this time, and once the ward is complete, then no one will be able to go near him. But at the very least, he needs to stay here with you for the time being.
I can produce something that will prevent wraiths. But other creatures, other undead, I am limited to that knowledge, and I cannot provide protection for everything. And if they were to lay siege, upon this place, they would only last so long.
That would be an interesting tactic for them to attack this place while we're in the heart of the prison. But
do you understand they've already started their siege? We hope to break it.
It's not for me to determine what the next move is. I'm simply telling you what is.
Aye, same, lad, same.
This isn't my body, so I won't make another blind call for it.
Well, if the room at Zokar's is no longer useful and he hasn't provided proper protection here, then keeping him near us may be our best option, and then perhaps memories of the prison can help us navigate the area more efficiently. I don't know if anyone else has any other ideas, but like I said, every time we leave him alone, it seems like there's some kind of trouble.
A navigator would be rather useful. They will try to find him regardless. Correct?
Aye.
Being here will only provide so much protection.
What do you think, Oz, Rye, Temerity, Torvin?
I think he's mighty good at using those knives we gave him.
I don't
Could
think
come
they're
in
going to be
handy.
that effective against an undead creature, but maybe I'm wrong.
Having a wraith with us is could prove invaluable with what I'm assuming we're about to deal with.
I would
Also-
imagine the boy's body is more valuable alive than dead to them as well, since he is a conduit and they can use him.
It all boils down to, do we trust Tripp?
I
And
don't
at
trust
this-
him, but I don't have a choice.
I think all of us individually, out of character, I think all of us individually have to decide, like, I don't know, do we trust Tripp? Because, like, I understand the strategy of, like, you know, like, kind of using one of their own as, like, a place for information, or they can guide us, stuff like that. But if we don't trust it, then, you know, I don't know.
Well,
Tripp doesn't remember who he is.
His own interactions with the Lopper too.
You've got nothing to trust.
He
What's
didn't
that?
seem with the Lopper. He didn't seem particularly happy, like buddy with him. He was getting taunted by him.
Yeah,
And
but
that
we
was
didn't
kind of
see
like
that.
but he told us about it later, like as he was explaining like why he did what he did.
Yeah, but the question still is, do we trust him?
Yeah,
I
he
trust
said
him.
he
Lot of
hasn't
character,
remembered his
yeah.
name, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't have any actual evidence of anything at all. So
Well,
never
we
remembered
do
it.
know that he almost killed the kid.
We do know
Right.
that.
And
On accident.
I saw enough of it that I feel like he could have easily. He hasn't really drawn us, like, he hasn't been like, hey, we should all go into that prison. Like, he hasn't been trying to draw us in there. He seemed pretty ghost torn up about almost killing that kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all don't trust him, then you probably shouldn't be telling him all the things that you're telling him now.
That's why.
I can't knock him unconscious. Or can
Just
I?
saying.
Light bulb.
As you guys
Come
are
here,
having this
Pepperin.
conversation,
Yeah,
Time you
I,
wake up, bow. Just
as
go
you
to
guys are having
sleep.
this conversation, Tripp actually pulls out both daggers, and he holds them by the blade, and he puts them up over to Eli.
Is that my dagger?
Oh, yes. Here, and then he
I've been.
Done.
he kind of
dagger.
forces the dagger into your hand, Eli, and then he walks over to Torvin. Sorry about that. And he hands back the other dagger.
I would look at Tripp. Right, looks at Tripp and says, "Can we trust you?"
Don't know. As I said, the Lopper told me that I was a coward in my previous life and sent there falsely for tax evasion. But I don't know if that's true. Maybe he knows I'm actually part of their group and he wants me to remember, so you have someone close by to attack once I do. I could be one of the 5 as well. I don't know. I could be a nobody.
If you betray us and it gets me killed, my soul will haunt you for all eternity and hunt you down to the brinks of
Good lad.
nothingness.
Aye.
When he says this, I was just like, yeah, mine too.
Right,
Pecker.
right. Can I get a wisdom check from you? This is a memory test.
Sure.
Something that has been bothering you about Eli. You're not really sure what it is.
What's wrong?
Oh,
with me?
really? Really? You go on the 18 and then roll over to the 4? I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
How many do I have? All?
We have
You have
5. So
Okay, I've used 1 already, so I
Yeah.
have 4. So I'm gonna go down to 3 now. I hate it. I really do. I'm gonna do it
it's
again.
higher
This is
than
how
a
it all
4.
is. This is exactly what it is. It does this forever. I've got what, 2 more?
You're so wise.
4,
The wise
6,
rye. 9.
It's going
4,
up.
6, 4, 6, 9. Damn, you're fine. Okay, all
Oh,
right.
I haven't heard that song in forever.
There we go. All right.
That's-
I think I've got one last.
it's pretty
one.
good. It's pretty
Like,
good. You're like really drumming this up. There's something about the way that Eli speaks that it just fucking bothers you, and you've not really figured it out, but you just pieced it together. You were traveling before this. You were an escort to a caravan.
Correct.
It was a caravan of dwarves that were constantly frustrated, constantly saying the most bizarre, asinine things and wild threats that you couldn't fathom most people actually saying whatsoever. And this particular dwarf said, if this man stiffs this deal and we die from it, I will haunt him to the ends of time and earth and make sure that he suffers
Dad?
forever. And you know, like, it just stuck with you because it was such a bizarre threat, particularly to hear from a dwarf.
So I have heard this exact threat before.
Yes.
While I was traveling with dwarves.
Yes. In fact, they dropped you off here.
Oh shit.
It was a band of blacksmiths.
You motherfucker, why are you hanging with my peeps?
Hey man, I'm trying to raise money. I want to become a merchant.
It just
it's
dawned on you.
Blacksmiths.
It's dawned on you that this band of dwarves, these dwarven blacksmiths, you were offering them as protection, and they came from Caliphus. That's where Eli is from.
Mia Caliphus.
a little different.
Yeah. I guess I would kind of like, give that look like. What'd you say? What'd you say? Like give that look like, Maybe I'll bring it up later. Maybe right now it's a little weird.
Okay.
But that's interesting.
Maybe it's just an all dwarven thing. Torvin's not been that way entirely. It could just be people from Caliphus or Caliphus dwarves. But you do know that he is a blacksmith. You know for certain that he's a blacksmith. He's talked about it multiple times. He said, even in his story, that he was raised by blacksmiths. Dwarven blacksmiths.
You ever seen a blacksmith hammer ride? Have you ever felt the heat of the forge on your face and the sweat dripping down your body and hitting it and evaporating? You ever get the satisfaction of when you create something flawless and there's no imperfections? It's just like a nerd with a comic book, like.
No, but I've smelled them after all of that.
You been living with? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like no, but I have smelled them after that. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, there's just something about that you are. It's uncanny, and it sticks with you. Maybe you never say anything about it, but I just wanted you to have that moment of recollection.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'll stew on that a little bit.
Okay. Everybody, go ahead.
Wait, I still want to show him the
the diadem. Yeah.
That one. I just see if you can tell him I don't really know what it means beyond what Zokar told me of his tale, but if he had any other insight into it. By the way, if you prefer I role play any of this, just let me know. I was just kind of trying to skim through so we could.
He tells you it looks like an ornamental piece. It doesn't immediately seem to have latent magical properties about it, but he can tell that there's some runic weave in it. Not sure if it's a matter of like whoever made it did this as like an homage to either another like master craftsman or maybe it's from the area. He does say that it reminds him of Nidalee's make.
Of what?
Nidal make. Nidalee's.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. All right. I just put it back and then I guess I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then maybe you could, tap on the wall, the doorless wall. We should probably be getting back to the Lorimore residence. The sheriff's gonna be there, and he thinks Torvin killed that girl earlier.
Oh yeah, I've totally forgot about that. Yeah. God damn it, we've got so many threads.
Okay.
So many threads.
We're gonna take this second. We're gonna take this second right now to actually take a brief break. We're gonna take like a 2 or 3 minutes so everybody can get up, get some drinks, stretch your legs, and we'll come back and resolve this We are going to be trying to hard stop at about 11 o'clock tonight, so we've got about 50 minutes. So step away and come back, and we'll see you guys in just a minute, okay? Okay. All right. As soon as I find out where my OBS is. All right, guys. Be back in the moment.
Are we good?
We're back. All right, guys. So. We got.
I thought Tripp was the one who killed somebody. Now you're saying Torvin killed someone? That's, I think, where you don't have to explain it. I know out of character, but in character, I was just like, what?
You have a very short trip back. Torvin, is there anything that you wanted to discuss? Especially after hearing Eli discuss that you might be accused of killing someone.
I told him by the river.
You did, but you haven't really had much of a time to sort of talk about what's next. What does next look like? That sort of thing.
At the mention of me potentially killing a person, I'm just looking at that and just blinking.
Are you like befuddled in this moment, or are you just sort of like processing?
Us is equally as befuddled. We're befuddling each other. We're looking at each other blinking.
I was there for the conversation, right?
You were there. You tried to throw me under the bus.
Yeah, Rye, you and Eli were both there when Benjen came through.
Oh, because Eli was all being a little liar face.
I wasn't lying. I left out that we found the knife, which he overheard later anyway. And then I also said that we think he was possessed. And he was the last person out there with her when I dropped her off.
I don't feel like Rye threw Torvin under the bus, though. That was an Eli exclusive thing, right?
Yeah, I gave him I gave him honest details, but I don't think he believed the possession part so much because he can't see it like we can.
In the information you didn't purposely omit, you were very truthful.
Yes. And then later I was like, I just didn't mention the knife because I don't know whose blood that could have been. I'm not sure. I'm not certain.
So
yeah, I'll let Torvin.
Yeah, the bit that happened after the river, I'm not really counting so much because he wasn't in his right mind at that point.
Of course.
And he's just been trying to find his knife for days. Like, damn it, it's been like... I killed what now?
Remember when you passed out and you had the sturgeon?
Why would I remember passing it?
Well, what was the last thing you remember when we heard the Sturges then?
The Sturges.
And then you just woke up in the barn wounded?
You remember being tied up?
I remember being tied up, which is not the best first aid, I have to say, I've seen before.
Yeah, we were very confused about exactly how to treat your wounds.
Very confused about how to do first aid.
Yes, I wasn't.
Bandages, not ropes. That's a part of it.
Yes. Accurate. But what I'm saying is that span of time from
when I was
when
unconscious,
you heard the Sturges and then you woke up restrained.
Yes.
I think you may have been possessed like Pevrin and may not remember and may have done a few things. I don't know, though. I can't prove it. I just know that she was dead and you had blood on your knife and you were unconscious. And that's what I told the sheriff. I think you were possessed.
So you don't know anything?
I don't know anything, but it's
let's take a moment and just accept that. And no, that includes first aid, which you do need to learn. I can teach you.
I mean, I've saved
it's not ropes.
2 of their lives already.
You think I
To be fair,
do you think
you are made out
I
of
killed
clay.
someone, or do you think the possessing moment killed them?
I think that, which is what I told the sheriff, but like you said, I don't know anything, but I take responsibility for not knowing everything, and I need to be honest and tell the local law enforcement because they do have rules, I'm sure. I don't know what does killing someone while being possessed. I don't know what law that falls under. Maybe Temerity would have more insight into that.
I don't think there's a law.
I don't think there's a law.
Well, then you might be fucked.
Raya's been like trying to kind of like find his way into this back and forth as it's been happening and not really finding a time, but he kind of pushes his way into it, and it's just like trying to de-escalate a little bit and saying,
No one is saying that you killed someone. I think what Eli is trying to say is it's a possibility, and he explained that to the sheriff. I don't think you killed anyone.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Otherwise.
I've killed thousands of people. That's not the point.
And not unintentionally, I would assume.
I don't think you make a habit of killing young girls.
Not unless they're giants. I mean,
oh my God, have you killed baby
girls.
giants? What would be? Oh man, my mind just went crazy with that thought.
It's like killing a human, but it's like a
lot bigger.
life-size human baby.
Yeah, but like,
That's
what
a
if it
lot
was like
bigger.
a 5-year-old giant? It's still a giant, but it's still him killing like a young girl.
It's pretty, yeah. See, hey, they need to get the
That
fuck
was out of
the
character.
mountains.
I'm just like, yeah.
oh yeah.
They stepped
Giant
in the
lives
wrong
matter.
mountain.
Giant lives matter, okay?
Man.
But you think I killed this gal?
I think you were possessed, and then the Piper killed the girl to frame you.
So when I asked you to untie me and you said no, which part does that work with those words you just said?
That was when I didn't trust you, but then I remembered my teachings and it became more clear.
At this, Rye is just backing up and letting this conversation happen at this point.
Have you guys stopped moving? Like, are you starting to?
Because you were.
I think we're headed there still. I'm still like.
I think that depends on what Torvin envisioned this conversation to look like. Did he stop us and be indignant, or was it more casual as we walked?
I'm mostly. Well, I probably would have stopped at moments, going, but and I'm happy to keep walking. And indeed, I'm tired. God, I want to go to bed.
Look,
so
this is I gotta send this mess with the sheriff. I don't believe that you would do something harmful to an innocent young girl intentionally. So I'm gonna do my best to talk to the sheriff and to explain to him and to fix the situation. But I'm just trying to do what I think is best and what the town.
Lad, I mean this in a soul of shut up. Leave the sheriff alone. Don't make it worse.
I wish I could leave him alone, but he said he was going to meet us at the house.
Well, let's take those thoughts forward then, shall we?
Looking forward to it.
I wish I had a teacup right now. I just feel spill it, a little
I'm sure
bit.
you're perfectly capable of defending yourself.
Well, not when I'm tied up, but that's not the point. Don't do that again.
You can see the Lorimore residence at this point as you begin to move up, fielding this conversation to its runner's end. And it's a little odd, particularly for Kendra at this point, but the door is ajar. It's open. light.
How's the
seems-
peach tree doing?
That's quite unusual. I don't think I've seen
Peachy.
the door open yet.
Peachy, I like it. You're so proud of yourself for that one, huh?
Also,
So
Torvin,
Got me.
give me some credit for my amazing grappling hook throw that pulled you out of that river.
I did want
Hey,
to.
dwarf fishing. That's what I want.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, so this is awkward to us. Like, this is alarming, maybe, that the door is ajar.
I mean, it's night. It's night. You can see the firelight flicker down the hallway. Nobody else has their door ajar.
I am gonna hide.
Where?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start crouching low and heading towards one of the side windows to see if I can see what's going on. Because, I mean, I know I haven't been alive long, but even characteristic-wise, it's not normal for people to just leave the doors open like that.
Yeah, can I perception? See if there's any, if I can hear anything inside, or
Of course, if you guys wanted to roll
I'm
roll
just
any
gonna
skills, then by all
shoot
means.
And
Yeah, Rye just kind of
Okay.
says, as he sees the door, and Rye kind of starts moving a little bit fast, not like in a run or a panic, but
still.
in his stride. He picks up a little bit as he goes to the door.
I'm gonna start to cast detect magic and then stop because I've seen this, and then instead roll perception because I've seen you people.
Okay. Eli, Torvin, and Temerity. The sound of glass shattering inside the house rings out. Oz, you went to stealth. Were you going into like a sneak mode? And we see
Yeah.
Tripp go to hide. Does this change anyone's motion or movement?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna go into a stealthy stealth and run into the house.
Yep. Sprinting. Drawing knife.
Okay.
I would follow up behind them. Still trying to
Slower.
remain hidden.
So
Yeah, Rye's definitely going to bust in at the glass breaking.
Okay. I've gathered that everyone is pretty much going into stealth. I've not heard that from Rye. That is also not Rye's MO, so I don't want to assume that you are stealthing.
I am not stealthing. I'm busting through the
I
door.
can't. I don't even think I can stealth.
When you go into stealth, everybody, if you stealth and move, you move at half speed. Rye is going to eclipse this very quickly. He's going to basically leap up the steps and be in through that door the rest of the way. Everybody's moving into stealth. I'm sure that most of you stated that you're drawing a weapon. You're in preparation. Rye, when you push the door open, Kendra is about 4 or 5 of the steps up into the stairwell, and Benjamin Kaler, the sheriff, is laying in a series of what looks to be like a broken mirror has shattered around the floor, and he's laying in it face down. There does seem to be some blood, and she looks shaken. She looks noticeably scared. Her eyes are wide, and she's not making any words. She's just kind of like gripping onto the banister, like the stairwell ledge.
I want to like just grab her, like swoop her up.
Okay,
Like I see what's happening. I just want to grab her and just take her outside real quick.
you got it. You manage to draw her attention. When she sees you, her hand does kind of come up. It looks like she's like gripping onto a handkerchief, and before you can even like get anything for her to muster forward, you grab onto her arm and you begin to pull her outside. Everybody else at this point, you can see that some figures are moving to the doorway. It looks like Rye and Kendra is in tow. Does anybody say anything? Do anything different?
I want to move
I
to.
wait and I look around as I'm
To-
watching.
Yeah, I want to move to check him to see if he's alive and if there's anything I can do to help
Well,
him.
actually, I was gonna say when I got to the door with Kendra that I looked to Eli and say, protect her, take care of her. I wanted to you don't have to, but that's what I was gonna do, was kind of like shuffle her to you for protection, and then I was going to head back in. But you do whatever you were gonna do.
I'm pretty much running. I'm going to be running inside.
Okay. Dashing inside, you will see a similar situation. It looks like the hallway mirror has been either had fallen or it had been physically destroyed. There is this a mirror the glass mirror is it's all over the floor beneath the body of Benjamin Kaler.
I mean, since Rye's passing her off to me, and I got the last girl killed by dropping her off, I'm gonna keep her tucked under my arm. And I'll just be like, we're gonna figure out what's going on, what happened.
Before I do that, like I kind of talk to Kendra. I just say, once I get her out of the house, and because so much strange shit has happened in the house.
Yeah.
That like just getting her out of there is like his first thought. So he's got her there with Eli. He's just saying, "Are you okay? You know, like, how does she look? Does she look hurt? Is there blood on her? Is there
somewhere between confused and just scared? She just kind of looks onwards. We was talking and he swung out. He fainted. I saw blood."
I look at Eli and I kind of nod to Eli, like, go in and check in and see what's going on in there. Like I'm gonna chill with Kendra.
Moving in.
All right.
Go ahead, Temerity.
Can I see what's the body, the person?
Yeah. I want to see what Temerity's got as well.
I'm gonna go in and can I see where this glass came from?
Yeah, you can see immediately as you sort of gear around to see what's happened. There is a hanging frame that seems to be stuck to the wall still. It looks as if the bottom panel has come out. Some sort of physical distress has occurred, and there are some shards of mirror still stuck in the frame itself, but it's just a hallway mirror that had been put up.
Sorry, Cobalt, if I wasn't being clear, I was trying to see if she was okay and if she needed healing, like if she needed some sort of lay on hands or something quickly.
All right.
But she seemed healthy, so that's why I was like, all right, like, cool, you know, like she doesn't seem hurt. Sorry, I wasn't very clear about that.
Oh, no worry. I thought you were gonna drum back in and try to fight something if anything popped out.
No, I was getting her to who I thought could immediately save her if things were wrong.
Yeah, over the sheriff makes sense.
Fair. So I'm gonna detect
my
magic
shitty first aid.
With the grappling hook, though. I mean, it works.
All right, Temerity.
And I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have a ribbon in my hand.
You got it.
Because I have seen how this goes here and how things happen, so I am prepared.
All right.
One hand doing this, and the other hand with a ribbon near my mouth or something, so I can pull it immediately.
So,
intelligence check pass.
Want me to roll it, or does it matter?
This is how this works. You go to cast a spell. Externally to the game, I would have you roll a D1000, because wild magic. Someone countered that wild magic, but then someone else put it back on.
What is wrong with you people?
Is that chat specifically? Someone in chat?
Those are patrons. Patrons are using their wild magic.
Can I just suggest that you give entirely too much power to your patrons?
To the people paying my bills? Yes, I give them some power.
Fuck those guys, all right?
Oh, shit. Please, give me a D1000.
But I'm gonna.
I don't want to mess up your business, okay? But no, fuck those guys.
You can still pull the ribbon if it's bad, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as it was a triple
That's
seven.
a high number.
It is.
It is a high number.
974.
Turn me into a goblin, teach me a lesson.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I still have to find red contacts.
That would be great.
I forget that my eyes are red now.
If you turn into a gobble.
Be like, no. Now I have shark teeth too.
Hey, my teeth are beautiful.
Okay, that's actually not. That's not horrific. This is just says cast a spell for free. The caster may cast any of the spells of their choice that they happen to have instantaneously. You are technically given 10 timed seconds to choose, but it does not cost your spell slots. So if there's anything that you want to cast right now, then you still can.
So
If you,
but would I even know? Like, so I would think that I would just continue to cast Detect Magic and it would work.
Yeah, then if that's the case, but like given this, it's one of those it's a material external factor that you have some control over now. It's like a meta knowledge that you get.
Oh, okay. So I know if I cast like anything right now, it will work.
Yep.
Ooh, this is. Can I roll that number
instant.
every time?
That's
And
kind of
it's
nutty
instant, and
as
it
like
doesn't
a
cost you a spell slot.
It doesn't cost a spell slot. It doesn't cost any. If it was like if you had access to Wish, wouldn't cost you any experience. Wouldn't cost you Diamond Dust.
That's what I was
like
just about to say. Was like this is kind of nutty in the right context. I mean, think some spells take like a long time to cast. It's instantaneous, which is the most exciting.
Some spells require human sacrifice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Why don't I have any of the? Well, I mean, I know I
Well-
don't have any of those in general.
Why
But
don't I I mean, Rye is glad you don't have
Flesh Golem
any.
book.
Are you still
We
moving
could have our own Flesh Golem.
with your designated spell, or did you want to go with something else?
No, I feel like the fairest, most in character thing would be to, because that's what I want to know. Like, is there magic around here? Can I? No, can I? I can't do really two at the same time. Instead, no, I'll do detect. Ooh, hold on.
You're looking at that spell list.
I'm gonna do detect undead instead then.
Okay, so interesting. You cast Detect Undead, and there is a lingering aura over his body. It's something that was there. Magic has it's when it's prominent, it's bright, right? Like think of like the high beams of a car versus the light from like a candle, right? This is fading. The magic is even fading before your eyes. But you can tell that there was some lingering magic here in this particularly in this regard.
Okay.
Maybe he got possessed.
I'm gonna turn back to Kendra as they do. I would say they probably are gonna do other stuff before I can get back to Kendra and start asking her questions. So I would pass it to them, and then I'll come in and ask Kendra questions.
Okay.
Unless you'd rather the other way around.
Basically like it's open floor. Anybody here can do just about anything that you wanted to.
I just want to roll to see if he's alive or what killed him or if I
Your perception,
killed him,
please. If anybody else wanted to make
heal.
perceptions or even heal, yeah, you can use heal.
Rye's just still talking to Kendra, trying to ascertain what happened. He's trying to understand where the mirror came from. He's just
Damn it. Shitty first aid.
I'm just gonna sneak into the building and kind of scout around, look around, see if anything looks out of place.
All right. So
Figure out, basically, kind of like investigate. Figure
Yeah.
out how this happened. How did the
Gonna
mirror
use
actually
a
break?
luck reroll.
yeah, go for it.
That's better.
That's good. Eli, Torvin, you can tell that the man is alive. What is odd, right? Like when you sort of like move in really quickly to see if Benjen is fine. Benjen is a lot of things, right? He's not been very friendly, not been very inviting. He's dealing with a town that's pretty much falling apart at the seams around him. It's made him rather crotchety. He's not what I would say is old, but he's a little long in the tooth for this particular role in the town. But what you see before you, this man is distraught. The eyes are practically bugging out of his head. Sweat has pooled up over his face. He's salivating. It's literally free flowing from his mouth, and he's gasping for air. Just Eli, you notice blood over the back of his neck. You can just see it over his wide-brimmed hat.
It's all right. Calm down. We'll make sure you're okay. I'll
There's
try to soothe
no
him
response.
All right. Well, then I will carefully reach to push up the hat or to see if I can find where the blood is coming from?
When you
Like
begin
his
to
hands and fingers.
lift the hat and you check the hands and the fingers, Benjamin always wears gloves. They're leather gloves. They're like hunter's gloves. There's no like muscle retention, right? Like it's not like he fights back at all. It's limp, like a body, like a corpse. The blood seems to fall behind, down the back of his neck, the nape of his neck, and it seems to run up into his hairline. As you begin to pull this off, blood is quite a bit more apparent on the back of his head, and you can even see that it's sort of stained his hat.
Can I remove his hat?
Sure, you remove it. You can see that there's quite a bit more blood here, even amidst the scalp. But the hat was covering it. You definitely don't think that it was related to this mirror crashing.
Do you see a wound, Torvin?
No.
I can't find a wound, but this doesn't look like blood from a shattered mirror.
Further investigation, sort of like pulling apart the hair a little bit, you can see that there is a gash, very long gash on the back of his head.
Does the hat, if I look at the hat in the same spot, does it look like there was any impact or damage, or like it had been struck?
No, it doesn't appear as if it's been struck, but something is odd specifically to you, glancing back at the hat. It doesn't seem to be just random. It's not like someone struck him with a knife or anything like that. You glance in the hat, and there is a almost sidewinding symbol. You follow it. It's either a serpent. It looks odd. There's no tongue, no eyes, nothing like that. Or it's a letter.
It's like another letter, Torvin. I think that would make it Vessoriana, maybe. Not sure how you kill a ghost, but
Aye. Well, they're gonna try.
it seems like this is one of the killer's MOs that we read about. Temerity found information on.
Temerity.
I'm making sure there's no like glass in the wound.
Sure. You can see that this mark. Now that you have this, right? Give me a new heal check, please. Now that you can actually see the wound. Wow, very good. Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Torvin, this is definitely deliberate. It looks like it is self-inflicted. And it was made with a razor. Like a gentleman's razor.
It looks like he's been cut. The angle is holding it as at head with us.
Maybe something took control of him and he shattered the mirror and grabbed a piece of it and carved that in his head to create a letter, the next letter.
We have to go. We've got to go.
We're running out of time.
This is going to keep getting worse and worse.
Am I close enough to hear them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone was possessing him. I'll say over my shoulder as I go towards Kendra.
I'm gonna bring Kendra inside at this point.
Looks like we might have to not do much convincing now, Torvin, if he's been possessed himself.
Rye. You go to usher and move Kendra into the house. And you see her eyes, the moonlight sort of shining down at this point. Her eyes are transfixed on a spot. And she's not breathing at all. She's just focused like a cat on a laser. She is just hard on, focused on this spot. And even when you go to pull her, she kind of forces her arm away from yours. Do you look in the direction that she is looking at, or do you just kind of like try to snap her out of this? What do you do?
Jeez, it's like one of those situations like he's behind me, isn't he? He's right behind me, right? I look.
A figure is moving in the direction of the house, and it's got a bit of sort of like a distended walk. Think like anyone who might have some hip issues, some troubles.
I instinctually put myself between us first. I put myself between Kendra and whatever is lurking. So that's the first thing I do, probably as soon as I see movement. But I would like to use perception to see if I could ascertain.
It's dark.
It is. And I only have one more reroll.
Light a torch and throw it in their direction.
Right, you can make out that it's definitely human. It looks like a man, probably someone a little older. You're not getting a lot of details. There's not a lot of light shining through. There would be more, but courtesy of a particular peach tree, it's certainly blocking a lot of that light at this point.
Damn you, peach tree! I knew you'd turn on us eventually. It's the only good thing in this campaign, uncorrupted peach tree.
She puts her arm over your back, like you feel the right hand come up over your shoulder, and she sort of moves to your side. And as the figure begins to come closer, she tries to take a step down off of the step, and her left hand comes up, and she looks to you. She says, "I think that's Dad." And when the light breaks over the peach tree, you can see the mangled face of Petros Lorimore.
We know how this ends, Maggie.
And this is where we end tonight's session.
You should have dropped the casket.
Dang.
Now look what you done, Eli.
Dude, if we had dropped the casket, we would have probably been real screwed right from the start.
You want zombies? Because this is how we get zombies.
Yeah. This is how we get ants.
No.
Right?
Oh.
Mop.
Get smiting.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Petros.
Sure, I didn't quietly roll like the second worst case scenario.
He might be friendly. We don't know. He's probably coming with a message.
It's like, oh, you're back. We thought you were dead.
Nice guy, says the.
He's
killer
not Willy
spirit that's
Wonka.
with us.
Wow.
Dude, some crazy shit happened.
Was
Yeah.
impeccable.
Yeah, man, we were all worried about you. We thought you were dead. Listen.
Well,
This shit's crazy. You
now
know,
that you're here,
Are we still
I
gonna
guess
get
you
paid?
got it covered.
Are we still gonna get paid?
yeah.
Well, guys, let's do our outros here, and I'll set everybody free so that we can run along with our evening. We'll start with Cobalt. Tell us about you, boss. What are you doing? Where can we find you these days?
Hello, I'm CobaltStreak. I stream on Twitch, and I play games, video games. They're fun. 6 days a week, 5 p.m. I play D&D twice a week. One of them's here. Then you can catch me here on Tuesdays. Thanks for having me. As always, ton of fun.
Hey guys, did you know that Cobalt streams on Twitch and he likes video games? I had no clue.
I
I've
didn't
heard
lie.
that.
I left some important things out.
You know,
Thanks
that's
for
what
telling
I
me,
like about you. That's what I like about you. You're not a
I
liar.
I say.
Imperial, tell us about you, Misty. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Probably at Disney World, really, at this point.
Lucky.
Yeah, no. Twitch.tv/Imperial. I haven't streamed in like a week and a half because I went on vacation. I don't remember what Twitch is at this point, but we're gonna sew some stuff and play some games and I don't know, have some cozy fun times. I think, or I'll just yell a lot. Either one or the other. It's like too extreme, so that's who I am.
Well, I'm tuning into that. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're back, by the way. I hope you had a good time.
We did.
Good. Very good. Wyld, tell us about you, boss. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I'm coming back to streaming in a big way, actually. So Minecraft mornings, Path of Exile afternoons until I get another addiction, but I probably won't be actually. This is new league coming, and I'm going to be starting Fallout Fridays very soon. I want to get back into 76 in a big way as a survivalist thing. So I have a level like 350 character. Gonna start using them again and start playing. So yeah, that's coming.
Wow, that's nuts. I didn't realize that they could go that high in level. Jeebus Pete's.
I've seen a 3,000 person once. I've seen a 2,000 a few times, but I've seen a 3,000 person once. It is.
Wait, what game?
Fallout
Fallout
76.
76. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mm.
That's nuts. That's wild, actually. Maggie, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I'm MargaretKrohn. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all of the places. I do lots of stuff on the internet, so if you want to find out about them, go creep. And I make video games for a living. I'm currently working on a game called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. I made ducks. You should go look at them. They're adorable.
I did look at those ducks. They're nice ducks.
Yeah.
Those are good ducks.
They're not quite my pecker, but they're
That's
close.
true. That's
It's
right.
true. Hello, you're up, boss. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello, I am Ellohime. I also stream on Twitch. Go figure. You can check out my channel, and everything that you need to know is there. So if you want to follow Twitter or any of that good stuff, I am a variety streamer. I stream very early in the morning, like 4 a.m. Eastern time is usually my start time. So yeah, if you're an insomniac and or if you're just up a couple nights a week and you're bored, then come join us for all the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Bub.
Well, I mean, we've got
Ronald's.
we've got Ronald Xander here.
Yeah.
You're up, buddy. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey, everybody, Xander. Do streaming here from time to time, mostly here on
Twitch?
Tuesdays. Yeah, on Twitch. I'm an exotic dancer in my off time. That's not true.
That is true.
Could be.
Yeah, here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Also, I stream either here or with Bubs, depending on what we got going on. Yeah, just a casual dude doing casual things. So, hello to all of you.
Well, that leaves me, guys. I am Bub. I'm not an exotic dancer, though. If Ronald has that kind of courage, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life. I should be fixing this. I'm trying to stream and do things here. I occasionally tell stories, make voices loud. I like to roleplay, and well, you guys know where to find me. You're already here. So coming out with us, probably gonna be doing some gaming tomorrow. I'm gonna shoot for the Hand of Merlin. Yeah, I've been struggling with some internet issues over the last couple of days, but I think it's leveled out. We just beat Solasta, which was awesome. For the record, Solasta's a lot of fun. Check that out. And yeah, tomorrow we're gonna try Hand of Merlin. So take it easy, guys. Do what you do. Stay safe, stay nerdy, and we'll catch you a bit later. Peace. We're out of here.